As workers return to the office, how can central business districts be revitalized through retail and other amenities to draw people back for good? For insight from Colliers, we're joined by Colin Worrell, Brian Rosen, and John Duda. Colin, some people believe that the pandemic caused a large and permanent exodus from urban office space, but does the data tell us differently in terms of vacancy rates and leasing acquisitions?
Recent activity trends really point to a brighter future for urban occupancy than vacancy trends do. You may be surprised, but our own Colliers data for Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver shows a 40% increase in completed office leasing transactions. And as leasing increases and the negative reaction to the pandemic decreases, we expect that vacancy rates will shift closer to where they were in the first months of 2020.
Brian, why and for what purpose are people returning to the office and the urban core?
We think that really it comes down to three things. It's culture, collaboration, and innovation. People come to work for a company. They're not just coming to work for a paycheck. They want to have an ability to interact with their peers. And while the technology certainly facilitated the last couple of years with Zoom and Teams and everything, it's not enough for people to really build those relationships and continue on and feel a part of something bigger. And that's a lot of why people join companies. And so that plus an innovation factor of being together, and we've done research on this actually that supports this. So we manage about 30 million square feet of office in Canada, and we've surveyed thousands of tenants, and what we found over the pandemic is actually the desire to come back into the office has strengthened. At the end of the day, people want that collaboration, they want the culture of being together, and they can't innovate to as much of a degree unless they're together.
How would you say clients are creating experiences for employees that are flexible, convenient, and social? And is there one approach that's more popular than others?
Most of the firms we're speaking with agree that flexible work is here to stay. Many companies are offering free breakfasts, lunches, on-site chefs, or event schedules that are really aimed at enhancing culture and increasing team spirit. Others are looking at ways of addressing obstacles that prevent employees from easily returning to the office by providing perks from daycare to subsidization of public transit costs.
How would you say Colliers is using technology to offer a curated office building experience?
So you'd be able to go on your app before coming to the building and see if there are any issues, see if there's any problems getting on site. Maybe there's a shutdown. Could be COVID related, as we've seen in the past. It could simply be something in the area or in the building. Another is you're going to go on to communicate. So if you want to talk to your management team, you have questions, you have issues, you can come in and you can talk. Another will be to what's coming. It may not be there yet, but being able to book your parking. Say I want to make sure if I'm coming on site today, I want to make sure I do have parking there. So it's all about this convenience, and what we're trying to do is make it simple. Make it simple, make it relevant, make it convenient.
How can retail invigorate and create a draw to the urban core?
It's interesting. Retail is critical, but it's about actually even more than retail. It's about building a placemaking. So when you're thinking about creating an environment that is enticing for people, live, work, play. You see that now more and more, whether the Toronto examples, Liberty Village, East Harbour, the Toronto West area, which is very tech focused now. That desire to create an integrated community, an ecosystem that thrives together and is purposefully built is so important because it gives people a desire, what's what they want. So if you have a particular set of clientele, maybe a Subway restaurant is good for this clientele on this type of day, but maybe too many fast food restaurants are not good. So you need to have an escape room or something else that fits the mold of what's needed in that environment. So for me, it's that curation, it's that ecosystem, it's that placemaking that's so important for revitalizing the core.
You've talked about tenants creating ecosystems around the office space. So how can cities and governments be involved?
It's actually essential that governments get involved. If left to simply local government decision-making with no participation with business, you get a lot of NIMBY, not in my backyard. So if we're going to be reinvigorating the core of a lot of urban environments, we need the public policy to work with the business community to really think about what's needed and what role can the government play and what role does the business need to play. And that's going to be needed in cities like Calgary, where there's actually a plan in place right now, where they're working through some stuff, as well as Toronto, which is booming, and Vancouver, which is booming. But as they try to turn over different areas of the city and create newer communities, this is going to be required, this partnership between the government and business.